are back at the Red Bluff Outlaws.
And the weather today is not great. That's the unfortunate part about winter racing. It's raining outside and it's supposed to kind of for the rest of the afternoon. And we also are seeing, really cold temperatures. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays a factor with our racing surface for the show.
Red Bluff in general always starts out really hooked up like this. It's almost like kind of gumbo-y. You walk on it, it really sticks to your feet.
And then as we race throughout the day, there's so many cars that it usually slicks off. Sometimes it even starts to get abrasive and then really wears tires. But when it stays wet out like this, sometimes it never really goes away and there's grip just throughout the whole, running of everything.
So for anyone that doesn't really do indoor racing, the weather outside still affects what happens inside the building, which is something to really take note of.
And our team, as usual, will be watching it for today. So $2,100 on the line for tonight's open A-main event. I think we have anywhere from 30 to 35 cars, and it will just be business as usual. So we're going to be getting our fire suits in just a little bit, and we'll roll out for qualifying, and that will kind of set us up for where we're going to be sitting for the night. I was spot on about tonight's track conditions. Extremely wet for qualifying, and probably saw one of the fastest times of the season. My teammate Landon Brooks in the 60L, he was an 8.42. I was third quick with an 8.51. So we weren't too far off. Our car was good, had great speed, and the main thing was I just never really made a clean lap through turns 3 and 4. There's a rut that kind of sits on entry, and you can't get too sideways through it because it'll almost make you like bike up. And if you're just sideways in general, you kind of catch it and hop. So I think the strategy throughout the night, if that stays there, is just to try to roll through it with good speed, good wheel spin, and be straight with your car. And then down in turns 1 and 2, it was pretty smooth. So with us running third quick there, we're now going to start second row outside in our heat race, and they're only going to take the top 2 finishers directly to the A-main event, which means this is the most important 8 laps of our night because it sets us up whether we're going to be starting far out front in the A-main event or we're going to kind of have to come through the soup. So rolling off from 4th, we're going to have to charge forward, use the start to our advantage, and just try to move around quickly and make work of the cars in front of us. What you guys saw there that happened in that heat race is what we would call a Christmas gift in auto racing. Originally I was scheduled to start 4th. The car that started 2nd actually lost a left front before we even went green. I moved up to the front row and then was able just to lead all 8 laps out front. And when something like that happens, it's really helpful. You need all the luck you can get in this building. So got out front, led all the laps, and I feel like right now, what I was working on, and I feel like most of the field, it's literally just about being smooth. The racetrack is rough, mainly down here in this turn in 3 and 4 on corner entry. Got some fans over there. You cannot literally get through corner entry without getting almost tight, biking up, anything disastrous happening. Like it's scary every time. So I even kind of worked the bottom a little bit and made good speed down there. But no matter what, we got through our heat, we won it, we did all we can do, and now we're gonna have a top 6 redraw coming up for a dash, which is gonna determine the first 3 rows of the feature. So the farthest up front we can start is on the pole, and the worst we can start is 6th. Well, I feel like we made one crucial mistake there in that dash that cost us from starting on the front row to now third, which isn't a huge deal, but of course you want to take every spot you can get. The racing surface, I've been talking about it all night, and it's really hard to describe, but it's almost like it's hard in some spots, soft in others, rough in some, smooth in others. It's just kind of all over the board. So I started third, and I got into second pretty quickly, and I was right behind my teammate Landon Brooks, and I felt like I was a tiny bit better than him down low, and I kind of got right to his back bumper, but I also felt pressure from behind me on my outside, so I ended up actually moving up to try to block up that way. And I tried to use the high side here and kind of like stay on the outside of my teammate and use him almost as a block so no one could get underneath me, and maybe see if I could get around the outside of him. And when I did that, the 86J of Jesse Caldwell was able to run the bottom and then slide across my nose.
And at the same time, I kind of caught the whoop section that's in here, which it is rough, and that is slowing a lot of guys down.
So tonight's going to be a game of, you know, I've talked about making smooth laps, getting your car to have rear drive, but also have some wheel spin so you can keep moving forward and not get stuck. It's really easy when you run the top side, especially if you're behind another car and can't enter at the speed you want to. You get stuck on the right rear and almost get too much right rear stick slash side bite, and it just it makes it hard to maneuver and turn out of that line.
But main events are going to be up next. We are going to be rolling off
From third here for 30 laps. It's going to be a dogfight. Wish we were on the front row, but still think we're in a phenomenal position to make something happen. About to strap in here for the 2023 Vern Wheeler Memorial, rolling off from the second row inside starting position. And this is a race that I've actually never won in the 500 Open Division. Originally it was hosted at Roseburg years back, and I almost won it once there, but literally lost it on the last corner. So that was frustrating. I don't plan on something like that happening again if I'm out front, but mainly tonight what we need to focus on is a top 3 finish. We are points racing, we want to win, our goal is to win, but we do start up front and we just kind of need to stay in the mix. Red Bluff's a crazy place, a lot of crazy things happen, and I feel like I got a good hot rod where I'm going to be able to do what I need to do. I just got to give myself that opportunity. So throughout this race it's going to be positioning and just trying to stay, you know, towards the front, like I said, to be in the mix and wait for our opportunity to get out front and try to check out. So we're going to get in 30 laps, $2,100 on the line.
All right, we're going to go downstairs and grab a quick word as he's getting the congratulatory hug from Jimmy Elledge. Make some noise for Tanner Holmes.
Well, you guys know I'm a sucker for cool trophies in racing, doesn't matter what it is. And this is a look at the Vern Wheeler Senior Memorial Perpetual Trophy. You get to keep it for 1 year and then you get your name on it forever. So bagged this thing tonight in $2,100, started third, made kind of a last minute decision with the racetrack. It was starting to go slick and I felt like maybe it was gonna be abrasive and our whole team was talking, and finally like it just started to get clean and our cars got good. So we were kind of a little all over the first couple of laps and almost got eaten alive. Kind of started falling back 5th, 6th, and then once I got moving, got a restart, got into 3rd, and then was right behind my teammate Landon and Jesse Caldwell, and all 3 of us are up front in points. So it started to get dicey. They were going at it for probably 3-4 laps, and I knew we were kind of closing in on the second half of the race, and sure enough, Landon threw a slider, they made contact, and I snuck underneath and was able to lead the last 10 laps and get the win. So that's kind of how this place is sometimes. You got to put yourself in the right spot. I told you guys before the race that's what it was going to take, or to outrace the competition, which was going to be difficult because Landon was really good, especially as the race went on. I felt like I was right there, but the track was just kind of rough and we were all getting similar speed as we both were running down the 86J.
And last tonight, I once again had to finish by speaking about the racetrack.
We literally saw this place tonight in just about every form, from juiced up, then to finally kind of starting to get rolled in, then to slick, and then to taking rubber throughout our 30-lap feature.
1 and 2 I feel like was top dominant, but in 3 and 4 you could run the bottom in the A and you could make it work, or you could really hustle the high side and try to get through some of this rough.
And if you hit it right, you could be a rocket ship on exit, or if you'd missed, you were basically in the dust, and then the car on the inside got a run. And I felt like it made it really racy, and that's what gave me an opportunity to win the show, because I got into 3rd. Those guys finally started moving around. They got close. We all kind of got bunched up, and I was able to sit back. I actually wanted to make a move and put myself in position because I knew if Landon got out front, I figured I don't think I would have been able to catch him because he would have got to see open track. But while they were battling was going to be my chance, and sure enough, down in that end is when it all took place.
Ultimately though, sometimes this place will beat you down and sometimes it will help you out.
And luckily, it must have been rooting for the 18T tonight. So big thank you to Jimmy Elledge and everyone at Factory QRC and our partners for helping us get to victory lane. We only have a couple of races left, and all I'm going to say is we are in the points contention for the championship. We are not leading. Right now, our sole mission is to qualify good, get through our heat races, and try to win a main events and run up front and let all that other stuff take care of itself. So these next 3 races will be business as usual. We're here to park in victory lane and do exactly what we did tonight. And as my good friend Bennett Gooch, who unfortunately wasn't able to be here tonight, but he always says, let's go big game trophy hunting. And I would say we accomplished that mission today. So we'll see you guys all in the next one. Deuces.